All right, what's up, Gym Family? Welcome to season 9. I just want to fill y'all in because I haven't been like recording in a while. One, I've been shadow banned. Two, I've just been mentally out of it. Not in a bad way, but in a way to where it's like I'd rather just stay away from the microphone and just not give y'all a dark energy. You know what I mean? Because what I do present and what I do live by is positivity, prosperity, and just reality. So my reality was stay away from the microphone. So just give y'all the benefit of the doubt that I am working. And I have my first guest of season 9, man. Who we got in the building tonight?
Tiamoyia White.
We got a sharp shooter in here because she is a part of the business and marketing and just all that shit that you need to really build your brand. So I'm going to get some insight today. But first, let's just find out where you're from. Let's get to know you. So fill us in.
All right. So, as I said, I'm Tiamoyia White, and I'm a Jersey native. I'm originally from Linden. I'm a mom of two.
Two.
Um, I'm the owner of Business and Branding LLC. I help small businesses and entrepreneurs build their brands. I also curate networking and pop-up events. That's what I'm usually known for. But I also help so many small businesses create their websites, marketing strategy, anything underneath that umbrella. I'm the go-to girl for that. And I'm currently a Berkeley student. I'm going for my bachelor's for applied media.
Okay.
I graduated in 2018 for fashion merchandise and marketing, and now I'm going for applied media. It's their new program, and it has everything to do with marketing and branding.
Give us like where did that come from? Just having that mind for business, for ownership, and just being just, of course, that womanhood and standing your ground as being a woman. Because again, you're in a field where a lot of people overlook y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it just standing your ground in that field?
So to answer your first question, business I feel like has always been instilled in me. Far as like my dad was an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So
Shout out
I
dad.
always I always was in the field with him. He did everything when it came to like lighting,
Got you.
DJing, and like my house used to be filled with equipment. So I'm used to, certain things when it comes to technology.
Mm-hmm.
And like as Christmas and stuff like that, he was always gifting us with the newest tech that was being sold at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to like you said, the industry and stuff like that, I'm not really intimidated because like I said, since high school, I always was an entrepreneur. In high school, I was making like graphic tees for people, and then after I graduated high school, I was making custom tie-dye shirts.
Okay.
So I call it my little trap because I was going to AC Moore, buying shirts, plain white, and then buying kits, making them whatever color the customer wanted. And business was booming. This was before like Instagram was utilized as a marketing, platform as it is now.
Yeah.
So I was using it as a marketing platform, but didn't realize what I was doing at the time. I was 19. This was before I had my daughter, and that's when I realized, all right, this is something. So at that time, I was already hitting up like local celebrities. I was hitting up actual celebrities, and that was like a form of email marketing. So I was already doing things 10 years ago that I'm doing now. I just didn't know what I was doing. Then I had my daughter. I graduated, and then I tapped into Business and Branding LLC in 2020 during the pandemic when a lot of businesses sparked. We had no other choice.
Absolutely.
I felt like, it's a gift and a curse, that whole, whatever that was going on at that time. It was very weird.
It was a lot of gifts though.
It was
more
a lot
than
of
curses. It was a lot of gifts, but salute to those that lost, their lives
Yes.
during that time.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. It's like a gift and a curse.
Absolutely.
If you took advantage of it, if you used your stimulus check right, like I did,
Twice. I think was it twice or three times? It was like three
a little
times.
more than that. I used my stimulus check. I was obviously employed before they shut the world down. I woke up one morning. I went to Elizabeth. The Crave Cave in Elizabeth is like a venue spot. I woke up. I went to view the spot, and I said, "All right, I want this for a pop up shop and a workshop that I hosted." And in 2 weeks, I was able to sell out the whole venue, and I did not know what I was doing at the time.
It's tough.
So I'm a strong believer that if you're a mom, if you're a parent, you can do anything, honestly. If you could push a whole human out, you could do anything in the world. So I
It's
feel like that's
tough.
the hardest thing that you can go through in life. And if you could tackle that, you could do anything. So,
I feel like more women do need to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, we're
Because
hard on
oh
ourselves.
my God,
We're hard on ourselves because we want to be, that strong, we want to be able to do everything. I
mhm.
always call myself an octopus because it's like, all right, I'm a mom, I do business, I go to school, I work, I got to be there support for my friends, like, but we got to give ourselves credit more.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I seen that just heads on, and just as a kid growing up without a mom, but I seen my aunt, I seen my grandmother attack those things. Just like you said, like, oh, she got to be parent teacher conference, but then she got to pick up little cuz here. Then we
Yeah.
gotta. It's so much things that they attack, and they just make it look so effortless, but it's really hard. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always just I calm down, and I always praise black women and just like give them the benefit of the doubt, bro, because it's so much that's just invisibly over their head. Like, yo, it's like the goalpost gonna always move. And
Yes.
it's just like, yo, no matter how much success, how much y'all innovate things and how much y'all own things, they're gonna try to move it. And y'all are probably one of the highest pedestals in the culture just off of just doing shit and standing
Yes.
on shit. Like, I know we got our men and shit that handle things and started things, but the women been snapping, especially in this new era. It's been a lot of women that's been snapping, so I definitely tip my hat to the women for sure.
Nah, we appreciate it for
For
sure.
sure. So after the first workshop, what did that turn to? Did it turn to 345? Did it turn into
Yeah.
because it's sold out venue? I'm sure you probably like next week y'all meet me here again. We could go.
Honestly, I never utilize the same venue twice.
Oh
I don't
shit.
know
Okay.
what's up with me, but when it comes to anything, I create a vision in my head and I
That's.
also want to, move around. You never want to get stuck anywhere.
Mhm.
And I don't have a habit of that far as like, don't limit yourself. So after that event, which was in 2020, I believe 2021, I hosted my second one in May, and that was like a bluish theme, and
Mhm.
that was also a successful sold out event. So when I do review a venue, I see how big it is, and I'm like, all right, I could fit one, two, three, four. How many vendors it could fit?
Mhm.
I got to meet that quota.
Yeah.
That venue was actually smaller, but it was actually more packed than my first one, because of the people that I had there. So that was sold out, and then I just continued to do it, not monthly like I should have done,
Mhm.
but I continued to pack out any event that I did plan going forward. So I've hosted about I lost count. And I helped about like far as brand awareness because everything that I do it helps businesses create brand awareness,
Mhm.
meet new clientele, and I I probably booked about over 50 vendors so far.
That's tough.
That number is gonna grow if I really like put the work in. I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And now like today, I'm currently planting seeds within the youth community. So not only am I a part of a nonprofit organization, Girls on a Mission with Ambition, I also have my own youth entrepreneurship accelerator program in Linden, which I created by myself. Last June, I pitched it to the recreation center, and it just got clearance this March. So we're like
Congratulations.
7 weeks in. Next week is our last week, and I'm just proud of myself for doing this because I feel like you should be the example that you wish you had in high school. You should be the example that you wish you had in middle school. So I wish we had an entrepreneurship class in school. I
Yeah.
wish we knew how to
Yeah.
set up a podcast,
Yeah.
but we didn't.
Yeah.
So what I'm teaching the kids now is you could whatever you got in your head, make it come true. So these past 8 weeks, I've been teaching them how to pitch their product, teaching them how to create prices, entrepreneurship in general, because they really didn't know what I was talking about.
Mhm.
And just showing them that you can own something. I always ask kids in general in the beginning of a conversation is, do you want to work for somebody else or do you want to work for yourself? And they're too scared to say they want to work for themselves. So that scares me.
Yeah.
So last week I did an exercise with not the nonprofit all girls group, and we created a tree. So the tree trunk symbolizes whatever niche you're in. So, for example, podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting can be the trunk, but it can stem to so many things. You can create an ebook on how to create your own podcast. You can start merch, which I know you already do.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you can turn it into a blog. You can turn it into not just audio but video on YouTube. Like it's so many different things that you can do. You can start your own event based on podcasting. So I just want the kids to understand, don't limit yourself. There's so many things, endless opportunities when it comes to what you're actually passionate about.
yeah.
So
And I'm.
yeah.
That's a heavy like lesson. I wish I told myself more as a kid and just as a rising teenager
Yeah.
because I think when you come from a place where I come from and you surround people with the people I was surrounded with, you have a certain type of standard of what's cool and like what people will pay attention to and what can really just keep their attention. And it's kind of like the things that we think about seem so far fetched because it's not in that standard of coolness or acceptance at that time. And it's like I could have been started a podcast right after high school because I already had the story, already had the lessons, already had the thoughts in my head of just presenting this and being this, but I didn't know how to really present it in front of my crowd of people or
Mm-hmm.
my family or even who would just listen to me. You know what I mean? Like who gonna listen to a 16, 17-year-old talk about life? Like,
Mm-hmm.
boy, if you don't sit down, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just that thought of just rejection, lack of consideration, and just really just all around just ignoring me because, bro, like it's like certain people have super strong testimonies. And I feel like because they're so strong, it's too loud for people to hear it. So it's like that loud ass speaker. You like, oh, like whoa, we wilding. So you gotta understand that and just go with what you align with. That's why when she say like don't limit yourself, we limit ourselves just by our environment, by our community, by our household, by shit, our school systems, because we're all going off of what people tell us because when somebody's older than us, we feel as though okay, they lived it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I they must be right, you know what I mean? But they don't really know shit. So
Exactly.
it's like just do what you really feel and no thought in your mind is outside the box or like super dramatic or extra, no matter how society paint it, because you may be that $1 million mindset and you can really just link with strangers and go crazy. Like I'm in that
Yep.
process now because it's like I limited myself just far as my range. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I knew I had the voice to reach out more, but I tried to sh- keep the attention at one group of people or a certain group in a certain range, and it's like I'm so much more, and like the brand is so much more
Yes, it
stronger
is.
than just this group. And it's like the old me would feel bad for turning my back on like this because it's like, yo, I'm leaving such a strong point of my life because without this group, without this area, who would I be? You know what I mean? But it's like if I don't leave this or if I don't turn my back, who will I ever become? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the like, yo, you either gonna fight with that or you're gonna accept it, like, cause you know what you gonna be, you know what you
Yep.
can be. So don't put yourself in a L7, bro. Just don't. But
Nope.
what's some of the your favorite businesses to work with though? Cause I know like you're just all around. I know you got food people, clothing people, technical people. So like who's some of the favorite businesses you ain't gotta single nobody out, but you could
Yeah.
just go in the lanes of vendors.
Honestly, I don't have a favorite because each client that approaches me with a new idea, I feel like it's a new challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because every client, at least that I attend to, requires something different, some type of different attention. So a food truck company will need a different type of, service than a cold pressed juice company.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't have a favorite. I just like to be challenged. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
nerd. So anything that requires me to learn something new is like, all right, bet I'm gonna take on the challenge and I'm gonna figure it out. Currently right now I'm doing projects that I never done before, but that's not gonna stop me. So yeah, I don't have a favorite.
That's tough. What was some of like your hurdles you had to jump just dealing with just coming up in a business and just getting that? Because I know, of course, you went to school for everything and
Hmm.
you put in the long nights, long days. So, what was just some of the things, of course, learning the knowledge and getting the knowledge? What was some of the things you really, what was some like real life lessons in that, I should say?
Um, that's a good question. Honestly, that's a really good question, but
See,
I
I
don't
be
know
on the
how to
fly. You
answer it.
see? Yeah, it's all good.
Because I don't find anything hard. That's the thing.
Hmm.
I don't really find anything hard. So when it comes to learning anything, all right, for example, utilizing the platform Shopify that everybody uses for their website, it's not as easy as people think it is. It requires, even though it says no coding require, it requires coding.
Hmm.
So just having to sharpen my pencil when it comes to learning different techniques and skills when it comes to like technology, I
Hmm.
find that kind of, tedious. And also when it comes to just sitting down and learning like step by step. I feel like we get into the habit of getting to Z instead of going A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Hmm.
And social media plays a part in that because we see everybody's Z and not the whole alphabet. So to go
She
back to what
talking.
you said earlier, when it comes to, putting yourself in a box, becoming a mom again because my kids have a 9-year age gap.
Hmm.
Now I watch a lot of like Disney and different like DreamWorks movies.
Hmm.
So that's like all I watch right now. Every movie has the kid telling the parent something, and the parent says you can't do that. And it's like, look, if y'all take a look back of the cartoons we used to watch back in the day, whether it's so much Finding Nemo, that's one
Hmm.
of them. My son likes Zootopia, Princess and the Frog.
Hmm.
They all are told you can't do it. And at the end of the movie, they end up accomplishing that thing they said they was going to do. But it starts at home.
Right.
It starts at home.
Exactly.
So watching those movies and stuff like that, even though it sounds like childish because it's animated, every movie has a deeper meaning to it. If you
Absolutely.
really analyze it. Now, I think it's because I just got finished taking art of film, so now I'm really analyzing movies even more.
Hmm.
But I was just watching a movie Up yesterday with the house and the balloons, and it's
Hmm.
like he was like, "All right, y'all saying I gotta go to a retirement home. I got something for you." And then all of a sudden they come get him, and the house just go up in the sky. He's going to his ending destination regardless. He
Right.
promised his wife something. He accomplished it at the end of the movie. So that's how I look at anything that I do. Is like anything is going to be hard if you never did it before.
Hmm.
So you gotta have patience. You gotta believe in yourself. And I just purchased this necklace. It's like a mustard seed within this necklace, and it's I have the faith of a mustard seed.
Hmm.
The mustard seed grows a tree that's bigger than a house. You gotta
Absolutely.
have that, and if you don't have that, you're gonna fall into the general population. And I just refuse to do that.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And the more advice I can give to people that is listening is lower the pedestals because you under like yo you see I don't I will hope you don't take as long as I did to realize how high you had these people or these places or even these goals. You know what I'm saying? Because certain shit is like very easy to accomplish, but we want it perfect. Like we can get there, but your shoes may not be clean, but you want the like your outfit just may not be touched, but your
Yeah.
shoes may be a little you feel me, but you got there. A lot of people are putting this perfect timing, God's timing, all on it, but you're not putting in any effort. So you gotta align with what you want. You have to truly align with certain people that you communicate with and you build with because I've understood to just stay level. Like my pedestal is now leveled because at the end of the day, I have my wants, I have my needs, but I have to give them to myself personally because if I don't, I'm going to start looking and people to be my crutch or to be the support system that I could have gave myself first and then just matched it and see if it aligns because if you're just going to be a co-pilot like you can't be mad at who's driving the plane, you feel
Yeah,
me?
you
So
can't.
it's like so understand like people are really showing you themselves very early. I think we're just so we just were so distracted at a time in our life to where it's like we had to really grow and let it sit. And like you said, it start at home. Parents don't always be right, but I think when it come to friends,
Mm-hmm.
it be like on the nail. And
Yeah.
I think that be us like neglecting it. Like, you know what? All right, boom. But we listen to when they tell us we can't be something outside of the friend group.
Mm-hmm.
When it come to that, I'll probably be like, man, you tripping. But when it come to friends now, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna pay close attention to that
Yeah.
because y'all definitely see something I don't, because it's crazy how everything shapes itself and how everything just comes full circle, man. And it's just like, wow. I'm like, because building up to come back to the microphone, like just gearing up, it been a lot of just self reflection. And it's just like, yo, I've been mad at myself, disappointed in myself. I've like honestly commended myself in a lot of these situations, because it's like, yo, like you let a lot of shit slide. You let a lot of things go under your nose. You let a lot of things really pass you by. But look where you at still. Look like, yo, you still have a voice. You still have a reach. You still have a hand to extend to others.
Yep.
So don't fall off too bad, because bro, like is your time coming. But
Yep.
I don't think I ever rushed my time. It's just like I always had that feeling like, yo, I've been clocking in, I've been locked in, I've been laser focused. But it's just like seeing that and doing that revealed so much about myself that I wasn't ready for. And then some things I already knew, but it's like, oh, I might need to back up, because if I continue with this microphone, I might say some things I don't normally say, or
Yeah.
Spill of Gems might take a whole nother turn. And I didn't want that at all. So it's like, yo, what you let happen, you gotta, of course, have that vulnerability to just be accountable. And it's just like, it's okay.
It
It's
is.
okay. Just on a personal level, just how is society treating you? Like just overall. I know it's such a roller coaster right now with the world politics and
That's the
so much.
thing.
It's
I
like,
kind of like isolate myself. It's overwhelming. So I
yeah.
just worry about the things that I can control.
Mhm.
So self improvement, self development. I get a lot of books, honestly, just to read, because at the end of the day, everything that we go through is history repeating itself. So whatever is going on outside, I don't get really too scarce, because you're either gonna make it work for you or you're gonna fall, like I said, in the general population. Everybody's frantic, but if you got a plan, you're not gonna be scared.
That's a fact.
So we had what's it called? What's the money drought right now that they're saying we're gonna have, or we're probably in
The recession?
recession. They're saying
Mhm.
like we're in a recession, and a lot of people got rich during the recession. The people that
Absolutely.
had it up here. So regardless of what's going on in the world, nobody could take your skills away from you. Nobody could take your resources away from you. So right now, society, like what's going on outside, I don't let it interfere with what I see in the long run at all.
Yeah. And like just like you said, history repeats itself. Is like, if y'all think this bad, just think about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We were all shit out of luck then, and
Yes.
luckily God blessed me just being an essential worker,
Yes.
and I had to, I was locked in the whole pandemic. But we've seen pretty much the dark, dark ass time. So
Yeah.
for them to try to just like keep pump faking and making it seem like we should be ready, we should already have this in our head to where it's
That's
like,
it.
but a lot of people again just on the fly with shit and just thinking shit just gonna be better by the day. And nah,
You gotta
man,
have a plan.
it's set up, it's scripted, man. You gotta
It is
again
definitely scripted.
adjust and align with everything going on out here. And I again, like you said, just it is overwhelming. You gotta block a lot of this shit out, because if you don't, you're gonna attach yourself to everything. And it's
Yep.
like, yo, you not even included in this, bro. Continue with your good heart and
Exactly.
working towards your goal. But you can't help but to do that if you was like, damn, again, Tuesday or something, Wednesday or something. God damn. So now it's like, again, it's set up to distract you and then just blindside you, so you can just pause what you got going on just to look at the world, because the world is always a pick me.
Yep.
Look at me. Oh, you don't want to look? I got something else for you. So it's either you got to create your own. I tell people this all the time: create your own world, bro, because if you don't, you got to settle for what's out here. And
And it's so easy, like you said, to fall into that pit. It's so easy. And just to piggyback off of what you stated, as far as when you do go through whatever you're going through mentally wise, you stray away from your business.
mm-hmm.
It's not bad to show people the ugly side. It's not bad to state things because that's what you're going through at the end of the day. And looking at like famous shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashian, even though I don't watch that show, I just know that show is still on, and that show's been on for like
Since forever,
for like 12 years. But guess
probably
what?
longer
They
than
show
that.
you the good, the bad, and the ugly.
True that. True that.
So it is what it is. Everybody's going through something.
That's a fact.
So you're not the only person going through something, but somebody can relate to what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And they see, after a while, you're going to overcome it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if he could do it, I could do it too.
What I learned about myself is like, I can show people that side and I am vulnerable enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what words to put beside each other to create that emotion without just attacking shit and going so crazy. I wish I had that, but if I'm like out of it, I'm gonna like, again, you're gonna get that vibe. You're gonna get Norky. You're gonna get everything built up, and I'm learning that about myself. That's what happened in the self-reflection as well. Just like, yo, what are people actually saying about me when I experience these people? What is the main thing? Because I treat it like a scout. Like, really, we were just talking about the draft and shit.
Yes.
I treat it like that. Just like, what are the traits? What do people like about you? What they don't like about you? And I've just been, like, really just gaining these scouts just over the years. And I'm just like, yo, a lot of people call me insecure. And I thought about that, too, because it's like, I be looking like, how?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, what I am raised off survival. Now, mind you, I was raised around love, but it was a definition of love that's not your picture perfect definition of love. So it's like I had the ins and outs, and everything else was through survival. So being that, again, say if I experience you and you already had your mind set up on what I am and who I am,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you think that. Because if I argue that, I'm fitting your narrative. So that's how I look at it, is if you already have a plan and think about what is the explanation worth? And I don't know how I get insecure off that, because it's just like, it's just really me saying, yo, I don't got time for that. Like, I know who I am. I don't feel like you know who I am. So it's just like, just because I'm not fitting what you want or fitting what you already created or what I could be in your head, don't try to throw a narrative on me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but everybody loves the wisdom. Everybody loves that where my heart is and where I want to go and all this. Like, the pros is never, the issue. I learned my lessons through the cons. And it's just like, okay, like, and it's not to get mad at them, cut them off. None of that. Is really to just learn about myself.
Yeah.
Like, so I really be wanting that criticism. Like, yo, like, you feel me? Why you feel that way? Because I'm in that state of my life, because I used to be so defensive, and that was one of the flaws I had, just like, yo, being emotional with literally everything. But I can think about some things now because I'm aware of myself enough to know, like, wait, you saying this about me? Why you saying that? Like, what you really want out of this? Like, so it's like, I can't be a super, like, 100% accountable without having that vulnerability to just see both sides of the issue.
Yeah.
So if people say I'm insecure, I'll be like, yo, maybe to you. But I know for a fact I don't have a bone in my body. 'Cause I tell everybody, I don't want nothing from nobody. I don't need nothing from nobody. If anything, I need to be serving myself. Serving myself, just the consideration that people like for me. Serving myself, just the goals that I want to accomplish and the dreams that I see for myself, the image that I want to create for myself, and not what society paints me or what y'all see Spiller Gems as. Because Spiller Gems is my testimony. That's my life story. That's not an image. It's not something I just live to do. Like, that's just something I lived through to speak to you. Like, so it's a whole different spin. And I just been through a lot, man, and people going to tell you a bunch of things about yourself. It's all on what you want to believe.
Yeah.
And I could have been like, "Oh, I'm insecure. All right, I'm gonna fit. I'm gonna fit the narrative now. Like, oh, nobody, Then I'm gonna get manipulative. Like, oh, I'm gonna try to, be a narcissist now and try to use it just so people can feel sorry for me and
Yeah,
victim. That's ugly, man.
it
That's
is.
ugly. And there's so many people out there like that, and that's why society is what it is. And it's just like the women hate men now, men hate women. Not, I wouldn't say hate, but it's just like it's not a common ground no more.
It's not.
Like, why?
It's not. Just times today is just not the same. It's weird, honestly. That word weird is like what
Oh, the
definition
biggest,
of
the big. I think that's the word of the decade.
yeah.
It might be weird. Yes,
Weird energy, weird people. It's just not
and it's like
real.
how long have you been tucking the tail?
Yeah.
Because it's like I thought I knew, I probably sensed it, but to see it up close and
Yeah.
loud like that, like whoa, like it's a lot of deep lessons out here, man. And like I said, I pretty much turned my back on the whole phase of my life, and I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm just really pretty much praying through this new cycle to just bring people that align with me, that speak life into me, that consider me, and as I consider them, because I
Yeah.
have one of the biggest hearts in the world, bro. I just need people to just show me they have a big heart too, and it's not through material things. It's just like, okay, if you my dog, meet me halfway with a lot of things, just far as just, oh nah, this motherfucker come down here all the time. I'm going up where he at, or yo, I'm going out here. You feel me? Even though I might say no, even though my social battery ain't what it
Yeah.
is, it's just the consideration, and I guarantee you gonna get that 2,000% because my consideration and what my heart is. Shit, I might just might just give you a whole platform, yo. If you need my whatever you want to start. Man, I am such a giving soul. I get that from my grandmother, and it's just like I don't know why people want to see the other side or what narrative is switching them to see different. Maybe it's because that's what they see in themselves, but
That too.
I don't know. I don't know.
But you're gonna come across and meet new people in life. Like I told you earlier, you're young. And even me and you, I never met you before in
Hmm.
person, but we
Hmm.
speak, on Instagram.
Yeah,
And when I sent you that tip, like I said, yo, handle that. When
yeah,
I sent you,
yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah,
handle that.
yeah.
Anybody that's envious of you isn't gonna look out for you in that
That's a
way.
fact.
Because somebody else is gonna take it like, oh, he didn't get that. Let me run with that. Easy, simple. So you're
Yeah,
gonna come across more people in life. You just gotta get out there. So
that's
when
a
you
fact.
stated earlier, you regret. Don't regret. Just now you know what to do going forward. Put yourself in different rooms, meet
Hmm.
new different people,
Hmm.
and you never know who has the resources, the tools to help you grow.
Hmm.
But just stay away from the people that you feel as though is negative and pessimistic. There's a lot of pessimistic people out here. So there's also optimistic and angels in disguise.
That's a fact.
So just don't limit yourself like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
feel the energy.
it's just that like that thought of just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? What I could have had or what I could have done, places I could be in right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, oh, I missed like the game winning touchdown, but it's
Hmm.
like, yo, we could have got some extra yards out of that shit. You know what I mean? And it's not like I just completely dropped the ball, but it's like, yo, I could have expanded myself, and that's how little I thought of myself. Like I'm only planting seeds here, and my trees are growing slowly here, but they growing.
Hmm.
I got some roots, some good roots here, but it's like, yo, my the water is not flowing, bro. It's not really growing how it should be, and it took a while for me to like, realize that, but I thank God I did. It got me in places to start a new season.
Hmm.
Beginning year 5. Well, this June it'll be year 5 doing this. And it's just like nothing really changed throughout the years. It's just that now I'm more self aware. I'm just like studying society because it changes literally every day.
Every
So
day.
it's like, and then it's like, I don't want to fall for it either because they're going to tell you how things should be done, how things should be ran, how you should be. Nah, I
Like you
can't.
said earlier, create your own world. So whatever you feel like Spill the Gems world is going to look like, create it.
Mm-hmm.
Make a plan for it. You can't go based off of a blank sheet of paper. So get a piece of paper, draw out what you vision your brand to be, make it come true. It takes, like I said, step by step, but it's still, anything is possible. Anything is possible. You're your only limit.
Mm-hmm.
You're your only limit.
I want to ask you a question, just going by what you said too. Just like far as the alphabet, like people see the Z and not see the ABs.
Yeah.
What letter do you think you at right now?
Right now, I mean, it's a marathon. Honestly. So there's no
True
end.
that.
As
True
long as
that.
I'm walking on this earth, and even that, I'm gonna live through my kids. You feel
True
me?
that.
Like,
True.
so there is a marathon. I can't even answer that.
See, I try to be slick with that, yo.
Yeah.
I try to get a.
And I thought about it too. I'm like, maybe I'm letter. Nah.
Yeah, I might
It's
be K.
nonstop.
I might be.
It's nonstop. You keep going, you keep growing.
For sure.
And the things that you just self-reflected on just now, you have no other choice but to move forward.
Absolutely.
You learn from it, and now you know what not to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that simple.
It's everything. Treat everything as a learning curve.
Don't make no excuses. Don't say you have many regrets, because at the end of the day, whatever has happened and transpired these past few years, it's what made you who you are today.
That's a fact.
So give yourself more credit.
Yeah, I try to. I really do.
This is episode what?
132.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah,
that's,
yeah. Facts.
Because you could have stopped at one.
Facts. And Dolo too. Like, this ain't just with a co-host and we knocking shit out. This is just 132 episodes.
Yeah.
Of life. That's
so speak that life.
I didn't really think of how many episodes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's damn. She might have turned me up this season, y'all, because damn.
And you're going to keep going, too.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's no choice. It's no choice, because I feel like, again, in my life right now, I know there's a lot of people supporting and a lot of people, rooting for my success, but I'm the biggest cheerleader. I'm in those meeting rooms and just, like, really in those drawing board rooms and just trying to see what works and what fits and what aligns, because I'm not stepping outside the box, of this box that I created, and it's not even no corners on the box. So just imagine, I'm not trying to limit nothing inside of that radius of what I call it. I'm just calling it a box, but it's really a world. And I'm just trying to make that world welcoming, because yes, it's a lot of self, but it's so much space enough to open up and just invite people in, and just, yes, I have lessons of being screwed over, being had, like I said, lack of consideration, but there again, angels in disguise, and there is good people out there, and you just gotta take those chances and those risks, because if you don't, man, you might be stagnant your whole life and just like really just wishing upon a star that, hey man, somebody gonna be my friend.
No,
bruh, like, be your own friend first. That way you could just already have that coolness and that aura to just, you know what you already looking for.
You are what you attract. You are what you attract. That goes for across the board. Whether it's relationships, you can't sit here and say, "Oh, I keep meeting low lives."
You might be the low life.
Audit your life.
Yeah.
But when you out here making moves and stuff like that, you won't even be in the same room as people that are lacking in life. Yeah. So that's everything. So
and I understand some things is unfortunate, but you gotta walk in that track of life too.
Yeah. When it comes to business, you are the reflection of your business. So because you feel as though you don't want to speak during certain time periods, you don't have consistent episodes. With me, if I don't post on Instagram, which I don't even like social media, honestly, because it's just so much. But when I don't feel like posting on Instagram, I'm missing out on money.
It's a lot of control you don't have too on the internet as well. Yeah. And it's just like, why can't I control my timeline and what I see?
But you mentioned shadow banning earlier.
Yes.
How?
It's very weird. It's like, if you're not within this time, or like if you post too much within like a 5-minute span, they like throw you off the grid for a minute. And it's kind of like, now it's, instead of getting your full story view, you might get a quarter of that. When you post even at the time that you even supposed to drop, people still won't really see it. So it's a lot of middleman shit going
Yeah.
on in the I would say the algorithm
Yeah.
or just the meta base itself. And it's just like, damn, you know what I mean? So I try to like when I do create content, I just attack it in the story because the timeline gets tricky a bit. So that's why it's like the story is pretty much distilled. Like, okay, people going to see my story way before they see this on their timeline. So that's how I do. It's little corners you cut, but shadow banning is a hoe. That's really the hoe of.
So we're
Yeah.
really gonna spill some gems. Get
Yeah.
out your notebook and paper. How many platforms do you use right now?
Pretty much everything. TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast at. I was Facebook, but I stopped using that. So I'm just there right now.
Okay, and how often do you even try to post on your actual page? A day.
A day? That varies. That varies. But I try to do a day at least 3 times.
Okay.
At least 3.
I just want people to understand that I know stories probably work for everybody. At least we feel like it does. It's the same people watching your story. You're always going to get an expected amount of people. If you have high days, it's because you're posting something that's, interesting or whatever the case may be, but it's always going to be the people that you follow. When it comes to your actual page, which is your forefront, you're not going to be able to be put on people's Explorer page or anything else if you don't post on your actual page. Nobody new is going to watch your story. They have no reason to. They can't find you. So I just want people to understand that the more, even if you feel like you're shadow banned, so what? Keep posting because somebody's going to stumble across your page. I just got finished accomplishing a 5-day challenge, a brand challenge, and I just challenged people every day. I had like a group of 12 people, and I just challenged them every day to do something different. Go live if you don't go live. Comment on more people's pictures and stuff like that. If you don't do that, you have to increase your engagement. So if you're not increasing your engagement, people are not going to know who you are.
True that.
So your numbers, numbers don't lie. So if you review your analytics and your dashboard, your professional dashboard, and nothing has changed or things have went low, the numbers have went low, you have to switch it up. You have to think like a big business. Even though we all consider ourselves small businesses, you have to think like a big business, which is important, which is why it's important to have like an email marketing list. Because if the internet shuts down like it does, rarely, who are you going to contact? How are they going to find out about, what's new with your business? That's why these larger companies, that's how they move. So you have to look at yourself as, a bigger brand.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm always at the drawing desk because it's like, yo, maybe it's my short attention span.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, yo, if it's something, even if I find a new angle or a new lighting or something, it's just like, nah, like something just not working. And I'll just like think to myself, like, what can I do? Like, and that's why a lot of my content be delayed because it's like I don't want to ever feel like I'm putting out the same exact shit. I could have been on episode 300 by now, but I would have felt like I'm talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just so many of my peers. I used to call them competition, but I've grown enough, and I prayed enough to call them peers, and I see like where they're taking things, and of course you try to like like, okay, y'all getting that. So now I know like, okay, this is what it is, but it's never to match them. It's always to still align with the purpose at the end of the day. Now, if the purpose come with better cameras and things like that, we going to align with that. And let's just see how I go. But far as keeping it new and keeping it innovative, I want to do that. I want to always be that. Yeah, for sure.
And when you mentioned about competition, if you go on the main street wherever you live, it's going to be a McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. You think they worried about each other? No, because everybody has their own target audience.
That's a fact.
You got people that like Burger King. You got people that like Taco Bell. You got people that prefer McDonald's. They still making money at the end of the day.
All of them probably eat the same shit too.
Yeah. But every brand is different. So when you stated that you peep, oh, you got that.
Mm-hmm.
Now see what works for them and turn it into whatever works for you
Exactly.
and make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever better means for you, whatever that definition is, make it work for you. That's all these companies do. They see, oh, electric cars is all right. We're gonna make electric car, but we're gonna make it better
Yeah.
within our brand
Yeah.
because they see that's what, like you said, innovation.
Mm-hmm.
That's all business is. You gotta, if you want to be the big dog, everybody can't be the big dog. Some people are an employee, but if you want to be the big dog, and like I told you earlier, learn all operations of your business. That way, when you do hire outsources, you know how it's supposed to be operated. But you got this. You got this.
Sure. For sure. Definitely. We appreciate you dropping the gems. Before I let you go out of here,
Yes.
I think we pretty much established what you really do need. But if anybody has just pretty much an upcoming entrepreneur, someone that wants to get into the field of branding and marketing, like, what some advice do you have for them? Of course, get your purpose established, and of course, get the work ethic. But outside of that, like, what would
if someone wants to start off freshly,
mm-hmm.
you either tap into whatever your passion is, whatever is passion. It's whatever you're already doing at work. So if you work at like a nail salon and you want to own your own salon suite, because I don't want you to get a nail salon and then you're still an employee. The point is to make more money and not do so much work. So think bigger, think outside the box. Going back to what I told the girl as far as the tree and the stems, have your main niche, branch off to whatever it is that aligns with your brand. So go with whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're already good at. It's just like they said, think smarter, not harder. So figure out what you're interested in, whatever your passion is, and study, research, read a book. Instead of watching Netflix, watch a podcast.
Facts.
Instead of going out to eat or partying with your friends over the weekend, go to the library. Because if you don't perfect your craft and learn about your craft, you're going to work for somebody that just took the time. I feel like when you said you wasted time, you didn't waste time. If anything, you perfecting your craft. It's not a race.
Yeah.
It's not a race.
And I once did treat it like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For what? So when you get to the end goal and you're 30, then what? Then what?
That's a fact.
You're going to go crazy because it's like, all right, I got everything I wanted. Enjoy the journey. That's it. That's what I had to stop. I had to pump the brakes. It's like, all right, enjoy the journey. Enjoy watching your kids grow up. Because I could just be in business mode all day. But what's the point? I'm going to be missing out on so much stuff.
Right.
Timing is all about timing. Whatever is meant for you is going to come to you.
Absolutely. I have a new segment that I'm starting for season 9. It's called Call 'Em Down. And what I'm doing this season is, I said this on my story before, it's just really just calling people down to the stage. It's just a certain group of people. It'll be different groups each episode. And it'll probably be 2 different groups of people because I'll probably have one, my guest will probably have something different. But it's just putting a highlight on and a spotlight on society, because it's, again, like we said in the episode, the weird shit and it's like everyone's becoming affected and it's becoming too crazy.
Yes.
So, when you cut that light on in somebody dirty ass house, the roaches scatter, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna put that light on them at the end of each episode, because I want to give you positivity. I want to make sure you prosper before you get your criticism. So what I'm gonna do tonight is I'm calling down entitled people for the first episode of season 9, because I feel like entitlement is everywhere. People feel like they're entitled to, because of their last name, because of what they can do, and maybe because of their looks, and it can be a lot of things that fit entitlement, or just by how long you knew somebody. You feel as though, or it's rooting for somebody's success. You like, oh, I'm entitled to get that benefit. And it doesn't work like that, man. Just, I was once entitled to certain things and people, and what it got me was reality pretty much. I can't really say, of course, the reality is you lose great people. You lose yourself in the process,
Mm-hmm.
and overall you just lose time to the marathon too. You're already going slow enough, so to set yourself back going slow, it's kind of, you're kind of really setting yourself back twice. So how I look at it is, man, just let people be them in their own way. Don't tell them what they should be because you feel entitled to tell them, or you think you're entitled to spreading knowledge and you think you got the answer. Let people just be them. Let people live in their purpose. Let people live in their testimony too, because everybody has a story that they want to share. They may do it through fashion, music, art, branding, whatever it is. Let them tell their story, and don't just be in the cut plotting and doing all these things like that just makes the experience ugly. And I just hate for entitled people to ruin a lot of people's success and lower their pedestals, because it's like, bro, like, why did you stick around this time? Why did you root for me? Why did you even tell me these things? Because now, like, it comes with a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
You should have told me that anyway. Like, I should have read the fine print, but you should have told me too. So entitled people, come on down. At the end of the day, we love you. That's why we calling you down, because we want to tell you about yourself and really just give you that self-reflection of, bro, just look at yourself, because you don't understand what you're spreading, the virus that you spreading with dealing with entitlement, man. And people like me that's on a different phase and a different road of life, people need to be like really laser focused. And you can't deal with entitlement because, yo, the things that go on up here with people, man, and the heart that people have, just dealing with entitlement, man, ruins everything. So, who you calling down to the stage tonight?
I don't really call down. I don't really, because at the end of the day, life is a movie.
That's
So
a
you
fact.
gotta pick what role you want to be. It's always
Mm,
gonna be a bad guy. It's always gonna be a hero. So I just want to call down the people that have self doubt. Like,
mm,
look in the mirror, remind yourself who you are, wake up the next day, and just be that person. Like, don't limit yourself. Stop doubting yourself. If I could do it, you could do it. Literally, with everybody has something going on. So just
facts.
the people that feel like they can't do something or they need this, and that, work with what you got. Literally, because this podcast, I see it being in a big studio and Spill the Gems merch in its own
Appreciate you.
storefront. Like, but you got to start somewhere. We're gonna look at this episode years from now and be like, "Yo, this is where it started," and now look at where it grown to. That's
For
all.
sure. For sure. Let the people know where they can follow you, and and we'll just, do the outro afterwards. But let people know the Instagram, just the platforms where they can get in touch with you.
Yes.
And right next events, like, yeah, lay all that out.
So you can follow me on Instagram at Tiamoyia, Tiamoyia. I'm probably the only Tiamoyia that you will come across. Website www.tiamoyawhite.com. My business is Business and Branding LLC. That's an Instagram platform by itself. And my next upcoming events is I have my kid entrepreneurship pop up May 7th, 3 to 7 in Linden Recreation Center. Then I have the Woman Empowerment Luncheon, which is June 8th from 1:30 to 5:30 in Roselle, New Jersey. And yeah, just follow me for any upcoming stops because I'm always doing something.
Hey,
But yeah, I appreciate being here and make sure you guys tap in. I have a prediction that this is going to be the highest viewed episode so far. I can
let's
promise
go.
you that.
Let's go.
But yeah, my anything I touch turns to gold.
That's
So
tough.
yeah,
And
my
we
support group is
appreciate you.
definitely there.
We appreciate you, man. And thank you, because I think this is your first podcast
Yeah,
episode, right? See,
and this is
everyone,
where I wanted to break my foot and
thank you so much. Thank you.
this one right
And we're
here.
honored to have you. I
I
always say
appreciate
we
it.
because I speak of me and Spiller Gems as two people, but we are honored to, like, of course, hand you this platform and you giving us information too to just feed off of. And we appreciate your story, your testimony, your advice. And again, we're rooting for you. And y'all make sure y'all follow her and turn her up all types of crazy. And hey, man, if you vending, if you got a business, lock in,
DM me.
lock in. She can help you. She can help you build. She can help you rise. She can help you get over that hump that you feel as though you can't get over. So tap in. So we'll see y'all next time on Spill a Gem.
Thank you.